Geometry, thanks for tuning in for an episode of Math with Mullins. We're looking at our quiz review for Unit 10, so we're just going to make sure we got those answers correct, and we'll go ahead and get started. So naming the circle, you can just name it circle T. You can even do the circle symbol with the letter T. Name the radii of the circle. There's lots here, so we can do TL, we can do TN, and then we can also do TM. The chords of the circle are going to be J to K, and then you can also do chord LM. LM is also going to be the diameter of the circle, and then a radius not drawn as a part of the diameter, we'll say that would be TN. Next up, suppose the radius of the circle is 37, so find the diameter. Remember, radius is just multiplied by 2 to find the diameter, so multiplying 37 by 2, we get 74 yards. And number 7, RQ is the diameter, so half of 14 would be 7 meters for the radius, SW. And then QW is the radius, so multiplying that by 2 to get diameter, we're going to get 66 inches. 9 talks about Amanda holding a rope to her pony and then letting them go in a circle. So hand to the pony is 30 feet long, and how far does the pony run in the circle? We're just trying to find the circumference. So that'd be 2 times pi times radius, or pi times diameter. Either way, that'd be 60 pi. And then if you round that to the nearest decimal, we're going to get about 188.5 feet. On number 10, we're given the circumference. Remember, circumference can be found by pi times diameter and then 2 times pi times radius. So if I'm given circumference in number 10, I'm going to take pi times diameter, but I'm going to divide both sides by pi. So 32 divided by pi is going to give me about 10.2 meters for my diameter, and then radius would just be half of that, about 5.1 meters. Same thing here, just take that circumference, divide it by pi to find your diameter, and number 11, we're going to get about 47.2 feet, and then the radius is half of that, so 23.6 feet. Okay. Next up, we have some arcs. NL is the diameter, so is MK, so we know that those would be semicircles equal to 180 degrees. So one way we can decide that missing piece for M to N, because we'll need that here shortly, is maybe thinking about 44 plus 88 is 132, and then subtracting that from 180 is going to give us 48, which then we can subtract all of that from 360 to get angle T here, which is 132. So from J to L arcs, we're just going to add 44 and 48. We're going to get 92 degrees, and that's a minor arc. For LKM, that's going to be a major arc because it's more than 180 degrees. So LKM is going to add, or really just do 360 minus 132, and we're going to get 228. And then NL is going to be your semicircle because it's the diameter, and those are always 180 degrees. All right, onward to page number 2. Finding the value of x in each arc measure. So what we do know about this circle is that we have 2 matching arcs. So I'm just going to take 2 times negative 27x minus 3 and add that to negative 37x plus 2 and set it equal to 360. So 2 times negative 27, that'd be negative 54x minus 6 minus 37x plus 2 equals 360. Adding my x's together, I get negative 91x minus 4 equaling 360, or negative 91x is equal to 364 when you add that 4 on both sides. So x is going to be equal to negative 4. So TU, I'm just going to plug in negative 4 where I see my x. So negative 37 times negative 4 plus 2 is going to give me 150 degrees. And then VU, I can just plug in x for VU as well. So that'd be negative 27 times negative 4 minus 3. I'm going to get 105. Okay. Next up, we have finding arc lengths, and rounding to the nearest 10th dB is the diameter, so that's going to help us with a few of those questions. Remember, arc length is a fraction of 360 times the circumference. You could do x out of 360 times 2 times pi times radius, or x out of 360 times pi times diameter. So for number 18, EAB, if the radius is 7, EAB, I'm just going to add 56 and 57 together. I get 113 out of 360. And then since I'm using radius, I'm just going to go 2 times pi times 7. So I'm going to multiply everything on top first, divide it all by 360. I'm going to get about 13.8 meters. CB, if the diameter is 23 millimeters, so 23 millimeters diameter, and CB is 99 degrees, so 99 out of 360 times pi times 23. Again, just multiplying all my numbers on top and then dividing by 360 at the end. I'm getting 19.9 millimeters. And then DCB, if the radius is 104. Well, we were told DB is the diameter, so DCB is going to be 180 degrees out of 360 times 2 times pi times 104. And then dividing all that by 360, once I multiply straight across, I'm getting 326.7 feet. Weird number 7 there. Not a Z. Okay. 7. Oh my. Okay. We're leaving that alone. There we go. 21. For problems 21 through 24, find the value of x. These are matching arcs, so of course they're going to have matching chords. So 3x minus 5 is equal to 4. Adding 5 to both sides, I get 3x is equal to 9, which means x has to be 3. And then here I'm showing matching arcs because of matching chords again. So if this arc is x, so is this arc. So then I just said, okay, 2x plus 96 is 360. Subtracting 96 from 360, I get 2x is equal to 264, and dividing by 2x is 132 degrees. For 23, matching arcs show, matching arcs because I'm showing the chords are matching with this 4 here. So 2x plus 4 is equal to 3x plus 1. X is on one side, I get 1x is equal to 3. And then same concept here for 24 that we saw in 22. 2x plus 70 is equal to 360. So 2x is equal to 290. So that means x is 145. Our last page finishing up here with question 25. If RT is equal to VT and SQ is equal to 3x minus 2 and UQ is equal to 2x minus 1, what's the value of x? RT and VT are matching chords, so if matching chords, that means they're equidistant, which means SQ is equal to UQ. So 3x minus 2 is equal to 2x minus 1, so x is equal to 1. And then 26 starts with our matching arcs. So if we have 150 degrees here, 144 degrees here, I can find this matching piece first, and then that can help me find the inscribed angle. So x plus 144 plus 150 equals 360. I'm adding these 144 and 150 together, I get 294. And then subtracting that from 360, I get x is equal to 66. So that means from G to H, that's our arc angle. But the measure of angle F is not equal to 66 because it's an inscribed angle, it's half of 66. So that means the measure of angle F is equal to 33. 27, kind of similar process here, except you have two different things to find. Angle W is here, and if you notice, angle W and angle X are equal because they're intercepting the same arc. So I'm going to start with angle X. Or angle W, 4x plus 5 is equal to 5x, minusing 4x from both sides. I get x is equal to 5. So plugging in a 5 here, 4 times 5 plus 5 is 25. So the measure of angle W is equal to 25 degrees. And then Y, I did the same thing. I have this angle, angle Z is matching angle Y because they're intercepting arc XW. So 4y minus 6 equals 3y plus 7 subtracting y's from both sides, adding constants to the other. I'm going to get y is equal to 13. So, plugging that back in to find the measure of angle y, 3 times 13 plus 7. So the measure of angle y is going to be 46 degrees. QRP is, QRP is an angle within a triangle, and it's going through the diameter, which means we're having a right triangle happen. So 4x plus 3 plus x plus 7 plus 90 equals 180. So the first thing we want to do is solve for x here. So 5x plus 100 equals 180. Sorry for the interruption.
Hey, Mr. Parrick.
Oh.
Go Big Red.
Today is one of the March Madness games for Nebraska. And yeah. Okay. Divide by 5, we get x is equal to 16. So that's not where we're going to stop though, because we want the angle or the arc measure of QRP. So that means we got to figure out my degrees of each one. So x is equal to 16, so 4 times 16 plus 3. 4 times 16 is going to be 64 plus 3 is 67. So from P to R, it'll be 67 times 2, so which is 134 degrees. So QRP, I still need one more piece of information. I need this arc from Q to R, and that one's going to be your semicircle, so 2 times 90 is 180. So now, from Q to R to P, I can take 180, add it to 134, and I'm going to get 314 degrees. So the measure of arc QRP is 314 degrees. Okay? And then our last one, this one is having an inscribed quadrilateral, and when we have inscribed quadrilaterals, we know that my opposite angles are equal to 180 degrees, or supplementary. So 15x minus 19 plus 13x plus 3 equals 180. Adding 15x and 13x, I'm getting 28x. Negative 19 and positive 3 is negative 16. And then I add 16 to 180, I'm going to get 196 equaling to 28x. Final step, dividing by 28x is equal to 7. So angle JML, I'm going to plug in 7 right there. So 13 times 7 plus 3, or 91 plus 3 is going to give me 94 degrees for the measure of angle JML. So in order to do arc JML, I might need to also find the opposite of that. My bad. So let's reverse that little real quick. 15 times 7 minus 19. 15 times 7 is going to give me 105, minus 19 is 86. So this inscribed angle, I'm going to get my eraser going. Oops. No, don't want to do that. So this inscribed angle is 86, and JML is that intercepting arc. So I'm just going to take 86 and multiply that by 2, and I'm going to end up getting 172 for the measure of arc JML. Okay? And that will conclude our Unit 10 quiz review. Let me know if you had any questions there. Hopefully this gives you good guidance on your unit quiz, and best of luck for you tomorrow. Have a great day.